Imagine this. The phone rings at the front desk. You pick it up, and all you hear is panic. A guest is stuck in an elevator. What's your first move? In this explainer, we're going to dive into a professional framework designed to turn that exact moment of chaos into a controlled, confident response.
Hello and welcome. I am a hotel AI expert with extensive experience in modern hospitality operations and performance support. I am pleased to welcome all students of Europe Hotel School to your online learning journey. We look forward to supporting your professional growth in the hospitality industry. All right, let's dive right in. Look, every single one of us in the hospitality industry will face a crisis at some point. It's just part of the job. The real test, though, it isn't if an emergency happens. It's how you respond when it does.
And really, that's the heart of the challenge, isn't it? Think about it. A power outage and a medical emergency require completely different playbooks. You just can't use a generic, one-size-fits-all approach. That's not just ineffective. Honestly, it can turn a bad situation into an absolute disaster.
So, the big question is, how do we build that strategic response? Well, it all starts with having a clear mental map. What we need is a system, a way to instantly classify any crisis that comes our way. This is what allows us to act decisively, instead of just, reacting to the chaos.
And here it is. This is the system. You'll find that pretty much every emergency you'll ever face can be sorted into one of these 4 fundamental categories. I want you to think of these as your primary action triggers: operational, environmental, security, and health-related. Getting these down, really mastering them, is the foundation of everything we're talking about.
Okay, so let's break these down. We're going to take a deep dive into what each of these categories actually means. Understanding the specifics here is what's going to prepare you to spot them and, more importantly, manage them effectively. First up, we have operational emergencies. So what are these? Well, these are the crises that hit the hotel's internal systems, the physical infrastructure. We're talking about the very machinery of hospitality that, keeps everything running smoothly day in and day out.
And just think about the range we're dealing with here. It could be a power failure that plunges the hallways into darkness, or an elevator that gets stuck with guests inside, or maybe the main server crashes right in the middle of check-in chaos. Every single one of these directly hits the guest experience, and believe me, they can escalate fast if you don't have a clear process.
You see, during an operational failure, what are your guests feeling? Frustration. They feel powerless. Your job is to be that source of clear information and calm reassurance. Just saying something like, "We're aware of a plumbing issue on the 7th floor. Our engineers are on it right now, and we'll have an update for you in about 20 minutes. That does more than just state the problem. It can actually build a guest's trust in your hotel.
All right, let's move on to our second category: environmental emergencies. Now, these are the big ones. We're talking about large-scale events that start outside the hotel's walls, and they often impact the entire region.
Yeah, these are those powerful, often really frightening events like severe storms or flash floods. And here's the key difference. Unlike a broken elevator, you can't fix a hurricane. Your role completely shifts. It becomes all about managing the safety of every single person inside the building and controlling the flow of crucial information.
Think about it. When the world outside feels totally chaotic, the hotel's front desk, it becomes an anchor, a point of stability. Your job is to be that calm, reliable hub. You're the one relaying official updates and giving guidance with real empathy.
Okay, our third category. This one deals with human-related threats. We call them security emergencies. And these are the situations where the safety of your guests, your staff, is directly on the line.
And the scope here is incredibly broad. It could be anything from physical threats, like theft or aggressive behavior, all the way to digital threats, like a cyber attack. And each one requires a very specific protocol. We're talking discretion, speed, and tight coordination with security teams or even law enforcement.
The absolute key actions here are threefold. Recognize suspicious behavior, discreetly notify the right people, and do everything you can to avoid escalating the tension. This isn't about playing the hero. It's about being a vigilant professional who knows how to activate the security plan without causing mass panic. And finally, we come to what is often the most common category you'll face: health-related emergencies. These are all about the immediate medical well-being of an individual, whether it's a guest or a staff member.
So whether it's a guest having a sudden medical crisis or someone getting injured on the property, these situations demand an immediate, compassionate, and totally composed response. Honestly, this is where your actions can have the most profound and the most personal impact.
You have to remember, a health emergency can be scary and, frankly, embarrassing for the person going through it. Your ability to act fast while preserving their dignity, that is the true hallmark of a hospitality professional. It builds trust on a level you can't imagine, and in some cases, it can literally make all the difference.
So look, knowing the categories, that's step one. That's the foundation. But the next level of mastery? That's understanding that how you communicate has to change depending on the crisis. Your tone of voice is one of the most critical tools you have.
So let's look at how we can adapt our communication, right? If a guest is frustrated over an operational issue, your tone should be all about reassurance and transparency. But in a security situation where guests are afraid, your tone has to be calm and you provide minimal information to prevent panic. And then for a personal health crisis, you respond to that person's fright with sensitivity and total respect for their privacy. See how it changes?
Now, in the middle of any crisis, any of them, there is a non-negotiable hierarchy of action, and it is simple. Life safety always comes first. Before you even think about hotel property or keeping operations going, you make sure that every single person is safe. Full stop. No exceptions.
Okay, we've covered the framework, we've gone through the details, we've established the priorities, so let's bring it all together now. Because this is about so much more than just a checklist. This is about cultivating a truly professional mindset.
And really, that's the ultimate goal here. When you have this mental map, this framework, you stop reacting with panic. Instead, you start responding with a process. You replace confusion with control. You become the leader in the room who inspires confidence in absolutely everyone, from your guests to your colleagues.
This framework gives you the tools. It gives you what you need to lead when things go wrong. Because remember, the next emergency isn't a matter of if, it's a matter of when. So the only question left is, are you prepared to lead?